When researching the Reese Committee and how the tax-exempt foundations were involved in manipulating the American educational system, I came across the RAND School of Social Science and thought it was noteworthy of mentioning. Quote, "The RAND School of Social Science was formed in 1906 in New York City by adherents of the Socialist Party of America. The school aimed to provide a broad education to workers, imparting a politicizing class consciousness, and additionally served as a research bureau, a publisher, and the operator of a summer camp for socialist and trade union activists. The school changed its name to the Tamiment Institute and Library in 1935, and it was closely linked to the Social Democratic Federation after the 1936 split of the Socialist Party, also known as the Old Guard. Its collection became a key component of today's Tamiment Library and Robert F. Wagner Archives at the NYU in 1963." Close quote. In my opinion, all of the far-reaching tentacles of the socialist, communist ideologies that the elites embrace were intentionally and intricately placed within the research, publishing, and curriculum of this school, used to indoctrinate all who attend. Quote, "The idea of establishing new schools for the promotion of socialist ideas in the United States emerged at the end of the 19th century. The Social Reform Union established the College of Social Science, a correspondence school, in the city of Boston in 1899. Another similarly short-lived institution called the Karl Marx School was established in that same city at around the same time. A more successful effort at worker education was made in England with the establishment of Ruskin College in Oxford, England, also in 1899. Close quote. Obviously, socialism has a long history here in the United States, longer than I knew until I started researching for myself. The quote-unquote new school train of thought is to indoctrinate while appearing to be educational and informative. And in my opinion, that is how evil always gets a foothold, so to speak, appearing like something you're not. Quote, "A more serious and official effort at establishing a New York socialist training school came in late 1904 when the City Central Committee of Local Greater New York announced that between the first of the year and May 30th, 1905, a socialist school would be established, especially for the instruction of speakers. The idea of a permanent socialist school in New York City, which took form as the RAND School of Social Science, began with George D. Herron and his mother-in-law and financial patron, the widowed heiress Caroline or Carrie Rand." Close quote. It's apparent that a permanent school would need to be in place for the indoctrination to be its most effective, very similar to the Nazi youth camps of Hitler during World War II. Quote, "The school was established in 1906, made possible by an endowment by Mrs. Rand at the time of her sudden death in 1905. The fund was administered by Rand's daughter, Carrie Rand Herron, and Morris Hillquit. Operations of the RAND School were governed by an entity called the American Socialist Society, which included as board members Algernon Lee, Job Harriman, Benjamin Hanford, William Maley, and Leonard Abbott. Formal direction of the school was conducted by a secretary, originally author and publicist W.J. Gent. What I'm curious to find out are the bios on these people and their relationships to the bloodline elites. Make no mistake, all of this is connected. Still quoting, the RAND school maintained a close relationship not only with the Socialist Party of America proper, but also with the Intercollegiate Socialist Society and other trade unions. The school's Labor Research Department declared the school had a very definitive object, that of providing an auxiliary or specialized agency to serve the socialist and trade union movement of the United States in an educational capacity, to offer to the outside public an opportunity for studying the principles, purposes, and methods of this movement, and to offer to the adherents of this movement instruction and training along the lines calculated to make them more efficient workers for the cause. Close quote. This socialist movement has been forming and fomenting right here in the United States for decades. It has infiltrated government, schools, media, movies, medical, medicine, and music, and that's just naming a few. And socialism is just the introduction of communism, in my opinion. Quote, starting in 1913, the RAND School established a correspondence department, conducting coursework by mail with socialist and sympathetic unionists around the country. In the fall of 1917, with the assistance of a significant financial gift from international gem merchant A.A. Heller, the RAND School moved into a new headquarters facility located in Manhattan's Union Square neighborhood. The new People's House, as it was called, also had a restaurant and a bookstore said to be the largest radical bookstore in New York City. Close quote. Still quoting, the size and success of the bookstore allowed the school to enter the market as a publisher of political books and pamphlets, launching a labor almanac called the American Labor Yearbook in 1916. Beyond its general educational purposes, the RAND School was envisioned as a mechanism for the training of dedicated cadres for the socialist and trade union movements. Close quote. So are we seeing the results today of what this movement was gearing for in the early 1900s? I don't know. But moving on, quote, in 1919, a legal raid on the RAND School premises was conducted by the Lusk Committee. The Lusk Committee was appointed by state legislature to investigate radicalism in the state. They obtained a search warrant and where a large number of books, papers, and documents were removed, material which served to further the course of the Lusk Committee's investigation. The RAND School was prosecuted for alleged violation of the Espionage Act for publishing the radical anti-militarist pamphlet, quote unquote, The Great Madness, written by Scott Nearing. In a sensational trial conducted in 1919, after conclusion of the war itself, Nearing was acquitted of the charges against him, but the RAND School was found guilty for having distributed his work and was fined $3,000. The RAND School was also raided in the summer of 1919 by the Lusk Committee, searching for evidence of connection to the Communist Party of America. No prosecution followed from this raid, although records were seized and providing the names of students through the years. So, basically nothing happens, no prosecution. Fines are nothing to the wealthy elite, let me point out here. Another committee, this one called the Lusk Committee, and once again, they put the information out there of who this group is and what they are doing. yet nothing holding them accountable for actions equivalent to a traitor.